Nice. Hi, Grace, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
How are you doing?
Oh, right. Thanks. That's quite a character.
I found this funny drawing.
Yeah.
It's an Albrecht Dürer,
Okay.
and he's just covered in gemstones.
Oh my gosh, the detail is really something.
I know. We're not going to draw. I mean, we're not going to draw the whole thing, but I've been kind of obsessing about this guy. His sword. Look at the sword handle.
Wow. Yeah, look at that.
It's
Wow.
it's really magnificent. And
Do we know?
What's that?
Do we know who did this?
Albrecht Dürer.
Oh, okay.
So it's like the best of the best.
Ah.
I mean, he did a lot, but it's hard to see. Look at the like all of the shorthand, the cuts of the gems. How they're
Yeah.
kind of attached to the cloak.
And the blade of the sword, my goodness, it has
I know.
angling.
I'm not really one for swords. But
yeah, that's really
that one is spectacular.
We've watched several episodes of Forged in Fire.
Yeah.
And they actually, you learn a lot about ironwork and how they make the angles and how they fold the metal over and over to get that beveled look. It's really interesting. And look at his shoes. Even his shoes have gems on them.
I know. Yeah, I hadn't even noticed that either. Uh-oh. Getting text from Stacy. Where's Stacy? Stacy's running a little bit late. Well, whatever. She might miss the warm-up. I think like Adele is still connecting to the audio on my side, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear us, Adele? We can't hear
you.
Yeah.
So Adele, this is the we're not going to draw this whole thing. I got this new book. It's not a new book. It's recent acquisitions of the National Gallery. I think like in 1976. so it's not a new book, but it's new to my collection. It's full of little gems, no pun intended. And so I don't know. I thought maybe it could be fun. I'm like, I love this leather vest. I love this vest. These are clear, I'm not saying clearly. I don't know for sure, but I think those are like these circles are pearls. Pearls are also really powerful. Well, we're considered powerful. And then if it wasn't for that smudge, it would be perfect. And this is interesting too, because this is a drawing by Dürer for an etching, and I think it's called like an Oriental King on his throne. That's what the title of the piece is. I think actually on the back, this is the reverse. So this is the etching, which might be a safer, which actually, if you think about it, might actually be a safer bet, because he refined it, and it doesn't have the same smudge. There's something about the drawing where it's like kind of first tracks, on the mountain, in terms of the thinking of the artist. But when you do the etching, it's gone through it's a different man, because it's probably a different day, and he's had time to marinate over it and think about it and make little subtle improvements. And it's always fun to see the higher degree of detail and kind of the evolution of the drawing, the evolution of the art piece, I should say, going from the drawing medium into the whatever other medium it might be, painting or printmaking in this case. And I'm just looking at this. I just have my eye on the sword.
Yeah.
It's not that different, actually. Ooh. I mean, everything just looks like it's a little bit more
Yeah,
defined.
a little more something. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Especially his face, I thought.
Well, the big difference, um, yeah, we can let's just maybe just look at that. The major difference that they were able to tell, at least that they noted in the book, is the background tones. So he actually had the cross hatching. Will probably have a higher degree of contrast, light side, shadow side, and then cast shadow. Let's just let me zoom in on his face. And I don't know. I mean, what I if we drew anything as a warm up, I would like to draw that, the center, decorative breastplate sort of kind of thing. But then again, the his crown is also really magnificent too. Let me see if I can drop this down into a couple of.
It looks like it's sitting on a turban sitting on his head.
Yeah, good call. Good call.
Oh,
Oh, it's gonna get in focus. There we go. See, that feels like that is an etching, but man, it feels like pen and ink, doesn't it?
mhm.
So let's see what his crown looks like. I love this little scroll.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. That's, so he can get a good handle on it. To take it
They're handles. Oh my gosh, they're handles. I hope they're handles. Anyway, I don't have any full-blown intentions on this one, but oh, that's a nice little look at that star there.
Oh, yeah.
8-pointed star. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, is it one? Is it 7-pointed?
Mhm.
Wow, interesting. Ooh, looks like there's even some. Those look like some griffins or even dragons on either side. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but oh yeah, those are wings. It could be eagles.
Could be.
Could be eagles.
I feel like the symbol on his shoulders is significant, but I don't know where I've seen that before.
There's kind of infinity.
Yeah.
Yeah, that it could be a knot. Yeah, it
Mhm.
seems like it's repeated
Mhm.
on the left side. It might be maybe part of the pattern that didn't. This folds over itself here,
Right.
but it might repeat here. Oh, this knot is just spectacular too.
Mhm.
So this is like the orb. What is that? I don't even know what it is, but it's like the orb and scepter of power. But he's got an orb, which is
Mhm.
curious, and then he's got his sword. Let's say okay. So we did that. Let me flip over, and let's see go back to the original drawing. Yeah. So obviously it will be inverse. So the scroll, which was on the left, was originally designed on the right. And if you're a right-handed person, it's nice to design, just if we were to analyze this, in a drawing, it's better to copy the drawing because that's how it was conceived too. And then rather than the reverse in the etching, there's the star on the other side. See, he would intended to have, I think, the star on both sides.
Mhm.
Symmetrical. Yeah, and that smudge from the ink looks has kind of made it more complicated to see the whatever those griffins are. And I mean, Adele, before you came on, we looked at this sword, and it's just it's really spectacular.
Oh yeah.
He is you have the engraving on there. This is a star-studded.
Wait, no wonder he's sitting down. Almost weigh a ton.
Yeah,
Right.
That's a good kind of weight problem. Here.
Don't see his shoes.
Yeah.
There it goes. It gets some focus. Yeah, I was when I didn't notice the three-dimensional platform that is on the bottom of the shoe, but I saw it in the etching. So yeah, you can see the sword more full strength. Or will you guys humor me, and maybe we can start off sketching the that little center breastplate.
Mhm.
Sure.
Nothing like symmetry to start the day.
I do like symmetry.
Stacy is coming, but she's just running late. And then I think Maureen said she's going to join soon. Either this, like she said, November. So we might get more company. And then of
I
course,
missed her.
Yeah.
no, I know it's fun when you have the group. But these little intimate classes have been nice too. Those drawings you made of the landscape were really beautiful. The Cotmans.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, that drawing is that's a little gem. That's a little gem too. I can slide this over a little bit.
I just need to make
wow.
sure my son gets off to his first class. I'll be right back.
It's nice to see his face too. Well, just like at least the eyes.
So sorry, I missed the first few minutes. What is this mirror image?
So this is an Albrecht Dürer's drawing, which actually apparently the drawing went missing in like the middle of the 19th century and then reemerged in the 70s. And then as kind of a duo or a diptych, the National Gallery in DC purchased it in the late 70s. And so they have the original drawing as well as the the print for it.
I see.
And so we've been kind of like looking at the what happens when you start with a drawing and then remake it for the print. That's not what I mean. That was just one of the things.
Oh.
Oh, right. The nice thing about where we are here, we're starting with, all you have to do is start with a square.
Yay.
I know.
The first mark is always the most intimidating for me.
It really is.
But it's good.
And then that square has a frame. And it's so interesting because I teach different. I think I teach a little bit differently when if I imagine that the recording is going to be addressing like the general public versus like our group.
Yeah.
So anyway, if anything comes to mind, I'll bring it up. But plotting those 4 points, not that either of you two need to hear that, but drawing point to point can be helpful. I think this thing, I actually do think that this thing is going to escalate quickly. There's that meme, there's this meme that goes around where, somebody's just like, drops like a pen, and then one person makes a comment, another person makes a comment, and then they just like, the whole thing just gets out of control really quickly. And then at the end, they're like, well, that escalated quickly. I mean, that was just a funny example, but I think this drawing is going to do that. It's like going to start with a square, and then I think we're just going to add to the square, and then so each side of the square has these two little bulbs. Each side, I should say, has these kind of hemispherical, semicircular and this could be a medal. I mean, I would love to make, I have so many, semi-precious stones. And believe it or not, like even precious stones are actually reasonable. I mean, you can come by low grade gemstones with without too much trouble. And to create something like this would be it's just it would be so interesting to design with really fine materials in a way that's like more mystical and not fashion. I feel like
Right, right.
gemstones and gold is fashion oriented versus um a real expression of power or wisdom or connection.
In high school, I took a jewelry making class, and it not because of the jewelry, it was because of working with silver and twisting it and warming it and turning it into a design, which was so interesting to me. So I understand your meaning.
It's funny that you mentioned the silver. I just bought a whole bunch of silver gauge, just cord, silver and copper cord to kind of sculpt with and
Oh,
design with, bend around, and like wrap stones and kind of make almost make something like this. There's a book at Michael's about how to make jewelry, and there are classes actually down at the mill. Where's the is it
is that in
the
Ham? Where's the mill?
yeah,
In
in
Ham?
Hamden? They have a whole studio there, and Chris and I were thinking about doing that. Seems like it would be a pretty fun hobby, just to like learn the
But
basics.
can you imagine
Yeah, it
making a
would be.
mobile of things like that?
Mm.
A mobile with
Yeah,
hanging wiry things. Be fun.
it's so beautiful. Yeah, because then because then you get to have the light come through. We have a Swarovski,
Oh yeah,
crystal
yeah. Yeah.
in our kitchen, and 9 o'clock, 9:30 to 10:30, we just get like the most incredible rainbow display. So then I guess it's a circle. There is a tight circle, around that one. And then this is where it starts to get, I would say, like a little bit complicated. And it's not complicated if we can figure out how many, pearls there are surrounding this. So I'm going to start at 12 o'clock.
13.
You got 13.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't understand why there were 13.
Well, that's the other interesting thing about designing with nature. Like, so all of these, I mean, obviously there's like some sort of, numerology usually. But other times, that just might be however big, say it's a ruby in the begin in the middle, and then that ruby is held in place by a gold clasp, and then that gold clasp is attached to the leather with these rivets. So basically the ruby determined the gold support beams, and then the rivets determined the scale. So it's like how many how many pearls could fit around the circumference of that, and then how many, what are the actual varied sizes of those pearls. So if you look at like 6 o'clock, maybe 5:45, you have this large pearl, and then at 12 o'clock you have like this companion pair. And then there's one at like 8:30, which looks kind of big. So then we have to fit two from 8:30 to 6. I'm going off of, I'm just trying to draw what's there. And I'm not sure if there is any. I mean, this one looks like it's square. The one at 3 o'clock looks square.
It looks like he just did it really fast without really
putting much.
You ran out of space at the top and then had to squeeze in a little one.
Yeah. And then there's no circle around that. That's so wild. So when I just looked at it without drawing it, I saw the circle being on the outside of those pearls, not the inside of the pearls. Isn't that, and I don't know what that means, but it's interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's a dragon on either side. But the way we get to the dragon, I think, is we have to place the largest pearl, or it could be, yeah, I think it is a pearl. And then we can build the mouth, upper jaw, lower jaw. Upper jaw, lower jaw. There's this long S-curving neck. And I am really attempting to do.
Trevor, we're working off of the drawing, not the etching, right?
This is correct. Upper jaw, lower jaw, head and ears, it appears. Head and ears. Kind of a different neck on the right side. It feels like it's more of an arch. And the wings are really well defined on the right side. And then the neck comes in between them, and then there's wings on the far side. So I think that the way I just drew it here with the wings, you know, the left wing in the front and the right wing on the side, versus this other side where it's not as clear whether he hadn't figured it out quite yet, or whether it's a different type of wing, or is attempted at a different angle. I think there still are two wings, but they don't sit so nicely. Like these feel like the ones on the right feel like swan wings. And then the tail appears to have a relationship to one of those pearls. And then it's almost like propping it up. May or may not be true. There's a nice, these parentheses on either side. So I think this is kind of the frame of the composition that we just made. And I originally had seen it as, an extension of the wing, but I don't think that's what it is. I think that there is it looks like this C shape. And I imagine that that's probably gold. So, and I'm like kind of at a, don't know exactly how to do this. I'll do the inside first. And then I'll do the outside of that C. There's a line in the middle. So I'll do the inside C, which kind of goes behind that wing. Then I'll do the outside. It's actually kind of remarkable how not symmetrical it is. And the symmetry shifts even further when, if you were to imagine the center line of our original square, square gem, if you follow that down, the next arrangement shifts to the left, where it's a pearl, another square that's vertically oriented, may call it a diamond. That whole thing is shifted way far left of center. Interesting geometry, a square with a round frame, rectangle with a round frame. And these, if you think about the guy, not Durer, but the guys that were designing the clothes, designing these, royal garments, these were precious materials. So it's not like there was an endless supply of, rubies and emeralds. So if you have, one big emerald, you let that be the, the center focus and everything else. It's almost like a mathematical, where you take all the materials that you would have and then you kind of, arrange them in the most harmonious way based on what you have. And so there's 3 pearls in this bottom, but only 2, square gemstones. And then this, I imagining these as golden plates, that really hold all of these gemstones in place.
Mm.
And I think that is probably attached to perhaps a decorative leather. I'm looking at how this wraps up. It have to be some kind of very sturdy, either a sturdy fabric or I'm thinking leather. I mean, leather is so permanent.
Yeah. And common at that period, I would think.
Well, yeah. And today it would be really interesting because there's just such a unique, such a wide variety of, materials. Oh, this is the, I think I left the paper like this. There is this really gorgeous pear shape form. So the light, this is the first time we've actually seen any indication of light and shade, and it's on the shadow side of the bumpy pear-shaped pearl. And it gives us a little cast shadow. Not cast shadow, excuse me. The shadow side of the object. We've seen no indication. You could maybe make an argument for some of the repeated lines behind the dragon on the left might suggest that there's like a little bit of a cavity behind that dragon, like in shade, and it would conform to the lighting arrangement as we have it. So this is the nice thing about the shoulders. The shoulders string up, and there's 1 cluster, 2 clusters, and then 3 clusters as it reaches the top. So that's, the middle one seems like it's rectangular. The bottom one seems like it's a smaller semicircle, and the top feels like it's a diamond shape. And this is just the entire kind of notional space of the decoration. And the left side, we can assume that it swings up like that. It doesn't really have pearls, interestingly. You could use an oval. I'm going to use a rectangle. Rectangle dips in, another rectangle, and then this top decoration at the shoulder. This is his beard. And of course, this is just a stand-in. So at least we plotted out a little bit of the job that we have to do, and I think it'll go. It can't not go quickly because we've been it's so nice to only have to think about 2 dimensions. We've been kind of trained to do things 3D, but with all of these like the magnitude of how many things there are, it just keeps it very 2-dimensional. So a square surrounded by a circle with a circular pearl, and then 2 pearls above. I'm seeing these little hooks and spirals as potentially, I don't know, like a engraving on the leather. There's another framed diamond with semicircular rivets, and then that seems like it's surrounded by some pearls. maybe irregular pearls. And then some decorations surrounding those. Without being there and seeing it, he's not really offering us much to go on, other than it fills out the geometric support, the symmetry. And each one, I built the notional space of each decoration. So then I was able, then because I built that notional space, I'm now able to start in the middle. And rather than having to go from like the side of one into the side of the other, I can design each cluster as if they are their own individual arrangement. And that makes more sense in my brain. Here's my central diamond. It's got a pearl over here, a pearl over there, and then some decorative spirals at that shoulder. And it is not quite understood, how these are, attached. And
Yeah.
I wonder if there's glue or stitching, or did they drill a hole in them? I know I was looking at pearls, and they'll drill holes in them, and it's just like there's something very I don't know. You have to. I mean, I guess you have to drill holes in them, and you make sure that they don't rub together. So you have like a pearl, and then a little knot, and then another pearl, and then a knot, and then another pearl, because they'll damage each other. So the idea behind pearls is that they never touch, which it seems obvious, but I never knew that. And actually, if you look up here, you can kind of see that these are separated, which might, make the case that they are, in fact, pearls. So, rectangle in the center of this cluster. Yeah, and even cutting stones to, I guess it does bring out their beauty. And it's a whole history behind stone cutting. And you can watch videos on it and how they do it. And they have these they actually do this like industrial glue to hold it in place. And then they have a very, very accurate measured angled arm that will, with the diamond cut, the diamond sandpaper.
Wow.
Oh, look at me. I broke my own rule. There. Went back up into the center. There's a more of a unity when you design from the center out. And I think it's closer to the way the jeweler, the designer of this, I don't know what you would call this. Is it like what is his outfit? Robe? Is it a robe? What do kings wear?
Yeah, robe sounds good for a king, but he's also wearing a vest or some kind of a leather vest, right? I think that's a leather vest on top.
I wonder if he's Turkish.
Oh.
Yeah, that's considered Oriental, right?
Yes, I guess so. Hi, Stacy.
Stacy made it. She's in the house. Thank God. All right, can you hear us though? She must not be able to hear yet. You got me, Stacy.
Good morning.
Good morning. How's
Hello.
Tuck Tuck?
Tuck is doing well.
Did he get to hang out with his girlfriend?
Well, that was yesterday, and they're hoping for a play date tomorrow, but they're blaming Tucker for their dog's behavior. They are. They're saying that their dog
He's a
just,
bad influence.
that's what they're saying, that he goes outside or she goes ballistic looking for Tucker. Can't walk properly.
She's in love,
Just-
dude.
That's what I said. It's a teenage thing, you know. It's not Tucker's fault.
You guys want to see my lucky pencil?
Of course we do.
I
That's
went
tough.
in. I went into the corner stable on Sunday to get a to-go order, and of course it wasn't. Of course it was ready, but the bartender told me it wasn't ready. So I ordered a drink, and I sat down. I was like, "Oh, I have to sit here." And then they had Keno, so you can't go into corner stable and not play Keno.
Right.
You have to fit in with the the other barflies, and so I put $5 down on a pick 3,
Okay.
and I only played one game because I was like, I gotta get out of here, and I won $125.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You
I
did
got
not.
I got all 3 numbers, yeah, and this is my lucky Keno pencil,
Oh my
so I kept it.
gosh. You won and you're a thief. Oh my goodness.
No, I asked if I could have it. She's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, please. It was, of course.
Wow.
I gave
Congratulations.
the bartender it was $25 tip. So I felt like that was good.
That's great.
So I got a nice crispy $100 bill in my wallet. I haven't even spent it yet.
Well, that's remarkable.
I know, it actually is remarkable.
Yeah.
You have
yeah.
to save it. You have to save it. It's your lucky $100 bill. Now you can't spend it.
I
You
know.
just have to
I'll put it with all my citrines. Maybe
There you go.
maybe it'll start reproducing even more.
Oh my.
Um,
Wow.
Good morning, Stace. So we just started drawing some gemstones
Yeah, these are
as a
fabulous.
warm up.
You know, the sloppiness, it bothers me a little.
You're
Really?
kidding, Grace.
Yeah. I don't like these unfinished lines and things that don't make sense and they don't lead to something else and they're not
Right.
symmetrical.
I know, and that's it. Like it can. There's like I'm having a little cognitive dissonance myself because you're like, wait, because it looks so formal, like it looks so symmetrical.
Yes.
But it's just it's the organic nature
yeah.
of it. You know, I don't know, and I think he just. The thing is like, does it mean that is it actually not like that big of a priority? You know what I mean? Like something that we all
Right.
like value a great deal is, you know, this resolution and symmetry and accuracy. And then it's like, well, maybe that isn't quite the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
That's the lesson for me in this is it's okay to not be completed.
Well,
I
it's
keep
like
wanting
it
to
might
shade
be,
it in.
It might be looser than
Yeah.
we even think, you know, like
Right.
it's not too loose. It's not too loose, but it's pretty
That's
darn loose.
so funny. So funny.
Thank you. I'll
Yeah.
make that joke till the day I die.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep wanting to fix it, but I guess I shouldn't.
No, I think you should.
But you can. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
What a mindset I have today, huh? It's,
Artistic independence. See this, I haven't resolved this cluster. I am actually fascinated by the 7-pointed star. I'll have to look, oh, do I have the book here? That would be great.
Yeah, I think
It
that's
was-
Scandinavian, the 7-pointed star.
Excuse me?
I think it's a Scandinavian symbol, the 7-pointed star.
Let me see if I can find it.
Have you seen those light fixtures? They're almost like paper light fixtures.
yes.
Yeah.
People
I know
sometimes hang them at
exactly.
Christmas.
Yeah,
What you're
yeah.
talking
7-pointed
about.
stars, they're about this big. I
Mhm.
think it's a Scandinavian thing.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, you can have as many points to a star as you want. What's this one? This is a great one. Nice. So funky. Okay, here we go. No.
Here we go. What does that mean?
Well, I was looking at like all of these stars. I have a,
Okay.
that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 5, 6. These are all Christian crosses. So I don't think this is. I wonder if it's Turkish. I wonder if there's a Turkish section. Heraldry. These are all European.
Can you imagine the weight of this?
Yeah, we were thinking
can.
about that.
I mean, he's definitely a warrior king. I mean, I feel like he's earned his position.
Yeah. I could carry it. I would love it.
Oh, Stace, you should gotta see this guy's sword. Sword is crazy too.
He looks battle scarred. I mean, his face and all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that guy. It reminds me of the final scene in Conan the Barbarian. He's
Sorry,
forced
that's
to
not
he's forced to rule. All he
fresh in
wants
my
to
mind.
do is battle. And just because you're good at war doesn't mean you're good at being king. And vice versa.
Hmm.
All right, no dice, y'all. 7-pointed star. I haven't been able to find it. I'll keep my eye out though.
Well, there's
I found the section
there's a
that I
Christian
thought was
symbol.
key.
I was just looking this up, and there's a Christian. The heptagram was used in Christianity to symbolize the 7 days of creation and became a traditional symbol for warding off evil.
Hmm.
The symbols
Oh.
used in some Christian branches, such as Catholicism and Orthodox Christianity. That's Wikipedia.
Yeah, that's great.
That makes sense for him to be warding off evil.
3, 6. That's 8. Yeah, there's. I mean, symbolism can be your downfall, but it can also. I think symbolism can be very powerful. I mean, obviously, it has power because every culture has employed it to like the nth degree on the highest levels of that culture. We might be missing out, y'all.
In what way?
Well, you know, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we're really in search of power. But if if you did want to be in power and control other people, you could use symbols to do it. I think that's how they're used, right?
Medieval
I do.
alchemists used the heptagram to symbolize the seven alchemical metals and their comforting planets.
Yeah, alchemy, there's a lot, yeah, the alchemy is a whole nother language that has its own alchemy, astrology, you know,
Trevor,
they don't necessarily have to be religious. Yes, Stace.
you keep moving it.
Yeah, I bumped it. I'm sorry. Actually, I bumped the camera. I didn't bump the draw ring.
Oh, wow,
Hmm.
look at this one.
Oh. Oh, wow, that's
Yes.
7.
Yeah, that's
Can you?
spectacular.
Oh,
Isn't that
wow.
beautiful?
So that's the
That's
other thing. It's
gorgeous.
like, yeah, and that one, there's like it's like a unicorn horn angling up, you know?
Oh,
So it's
wow. You
one-
pin it. You can see it's like a wire, a continuous wire or rope.
Yeah.
Ah, Trevor, that's what you can do with your wire, your silver wire.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I got to show you.
This one's called the
Great.
Fairy Star.
This is the same artist. I mean, this is Durer. I think it's in this book at the end. Maybe it's the other Durer book. Durer made these crazy rope drawings that were continuous, you know, continuous lines. Here's my Durer book.
That's the artist, Stacy, who drew this Durer.
This is Durer.
Yeah.
Is that D-U-R-R?
D-U-R? D-U-R-E-R. And then it's got the
Thank you.
but you got to get these guys.
Ah, that
Umlaut.
does make it. I like that.
Umlau. Umlau. I can't find it, people.
I am surprised. You can usually just open a book right to the page.
I know.
That's you, Grace.
No, Trevor, I'm always so impressed how he can just get a book and open it right to what he's looking for. He knows exactly where it is.
Yes, he does do that.
I have a
Remember in the-
photographic memory. It's got to be the right book. This is not the right book. But this book will still probably have it because it doesn't. This is a really good one.
Thank you.
All right, Grace. I think when's your birthday?
August.
It's in August.
Yeah, why?
Missed it.
What do
I'll
you
show
say for my birthday?
I'll show you the project that we're gonna do on your birthday.
Okay.
This is enough. It might drive Stacy insane.
Uh-oh.
Oh God. Wait for it. Go big, let's go big time.
Oh, yes.
I know. This is
Oh, yeah,
one,
I'm absent.
yeah.
My birthday's
Tucker
past.
has to go to the,
So he has
This
to go
is-
anywhere.
this is one rope.
I can't look at that. I mean, I can't even look at it.
It's unbelievable. I mean, it is unreal.
Oh,
So he did,
my
and then it's not
God.
even the only one. I don't know why he did this or why. That's the other crazy.
Where?
I haven't even read
Oh,
about these. I'm
wow.
so intimidated by them that it's like. Have you ever seen? There was a piece at Alex Cooper. This was a design that like this is a practice that I think like sailors that were on the water for like hours and hours and hours. They'd work on these little like knot sketches. So this is one continuous thing of rope.
That is amazing.
And so I don't even know if it's like he made them. It's like a trompe l'oeil. It's like a trompe l'oeil to look like rope.
Yeah.
I mean, even just one of these, like one of these in here,
Yeah.
would be really interesting to try to. That one I feel like would be manageable.
Yes, definitely.
And then look at these.
Yeah. Whoa.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Where?
6. That's 6-pointed star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is on the theme of 8. This is on the theme of 6. Who knows? 1, 2, 3.
So easy to mess up on those.
Grace, you're not allowed to mess up.
These
What
are
a great book.
16. Well, I think that they're actually, I think they might be, if you get one of these, like this one column, and you develop a sense of transition, like this column versus this one, I think it just repeats across however many times. So if you get, it may not be actually, it may be more busy work than anything. So like if you get this doll one and then the space between, then that print and then that print and then that print and then that print, and then you unify them all. I don't know. I haven't studied these, and I just haven't. I can't do it. I don't think I can do it. Not right now. I think we will do this corner though.
Stacy, remember when we did this?
I can't look at the screen until.
Remember when we did this, Stacy? You can look now. Look down
Yeah.
at mine. Can you see this, Stacy?
Oh yeah.
So I turned it into this,
Oh
and I made
my
it a Christmas
gosh.
card last year.
It's
you see the edge?
beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, Grace.
But you see the edge, how the edge has that interweaving
Yes,
up and down. It's
yes.
the same thing. And when you work on something like that, it's your mind is like
It's a meditation.
focused on this and nothing else. I mean, it's an amazing
Wow.
display.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Do
But
you-
if you follow that one rope, and it has to continue all around, and there's no beginning and there's no end. It just all winds back together. It's really
Wow.
fun. You'd be surprised.
I would be very surprised. That's really beautiful. Would you like my address for this year's card?
Seriously, I want that one. I
No,
would love to get
seriously,
that
did you make, I mean, all jokes aside, did you make one, or are you making one for this upcoming year?
I am, but it has absolutely nothing to do with anything we've worked on, which I usually like to, finish
Yeah.
something. we worked on, But this
Well,
year's
will
a little bit-
you let us see it when you complete it?
Yes.
Good. That's beautiful, really beautiful. So is that in graphite?
Yeah.
Yeah, silly me to even ask, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. And
And I have
I'm thinking you're really happy with it.
Yeah, it came out better than I expected, so
Yeah.
I'm happy with it. And we have a relative who has a little printing press, a print shop, and so she turns them into cards for me.
That's
Whoa.
crazy. That's wonderful.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Wonderful. Good for you. Wow. What a
Oh, yeah,
treat.
do you have extra ones?
Oh,
I
maybe.
would love to have one
Oh,
if you do, but no pressure.
I might. And the one from the year before was also one that we had done. I don't know why I love these. Remember this,
Let's
Stacy?
see.
Looking on this?
I found him,
Oh.
guys. I found him. Sorry.
Yep.
Holy crap. Go
Wow.
back. Can you go back, Grace?
Grace,
Let me
hold,
stop.
hold that
Let
up
me stop
again.
the share.
please.
Yeah, let me stop the share because I can see it actually up close.
This one, remember this one? This was.
Wow.
Oh yeah. These were,
Yeah, beautiful.
man, that thing is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely
This was
beautiful.
the reliquary cross. And
Mhm.
for Christmas, when I finished that,
Yes.
I actually added in little.
Oh my
green thread.
gosh. That's
That was fun.
beautiful.
too. I don't know
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
you're right, Trevor. I don't know why I like these arabesque kind of very
It's beautiful.
tiny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really attracted to them too, obviously.
When we've done, the ancient jewelry in the past, you remember we've often
Yes.
done like earrings. Oh, gorgeous. There's just
I know.
something about it.
Yes.
It's so satisfying, like cross stitch sort of.
Yeah, those are beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is interesting. I just found in this book, I was looking through here. I found this, well, this book has a version of the piece that we're working on. But it's incomplete, which is also really cool. I can look up and see what it says about it. Late 18, but let me go back and show you the screen share. Let's see, screen share. So here's our guy.
Yeah.
Um,
mhm.
Oh my goodness, look at him.
Yeah, and he's really
Oh,
Wow.
come around.
look at the tassels at the bottom of his whatever
Yeah, let me
drape.
zoom in so we can see what's going on.
Look at the folds.
Oh, and the knot. That
Yeah,
knot,
yeah, yeah.
gorgeous.
Look at the focus.
And the
This
crystal
is not
ball.
the it's weird because it's not the one that we're thinking. I mean, it's not. Oh no, don't rip. Okay.
I
He doesn't
love
have
the
he doesn't have a
tassels.
foot. He hasn't done the foot yet.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
Focus, guys. Come on, focus.
Isn't that 1 foot on the right or the left? In a slipper?
Oh, maybe so. You're right. Over there peeking out. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It is. It is. But this is
Wow.
the, okay, let me just go, so I can move this back. And so this is the etching that we were looking at.
Look at that shoe. I love that shoe. I would wear that shoe.
But that's what I mean. These are, this might be done by a different person.
Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Because look at this face versus this face.
Yeah.
So I think this is the school of, and you look at the throne is completely different too. I mean, all right, so yeah, this must be, maybe he's just doing a different version.
Is it the same artist, Durer?
Yeah. So this is,
Oh,
I mean, this is the drawing. This is like the actual original thing, and we own this. The National Gallery in Washington D.C. owns this drawing, so it's owned by America. And yeah, this is like the closest to the original. And then the next version is this is the first etching. And then I think that this, and it's so close, like the handwriting, it's just so similar. It just feels like it has the hand of Durer. I mean, it just does. And then this one feels like this was somebody that was doing the best they could to do a cleaner, like almost like a cleaner version
Yeah.
of Durer, or else Like this is Durer doing a high level resolution version. Where Durer does take, these sketches and these, the different plates to varying degrees of resolution. And, look at the whole throne, just like the variation on the throne is interesting.
I do like this.
So and this is a cleaner, tighter version, Grace.
Yeah.
And, when you look at, and that's the thing, I wonder about his process. You look at Durer's drawings and you can tell where they started, and then they finish up like this is the Mary. See how it really is super duper tight.
Now this is drawing, not etching.
Yeah, this is an etching.
Oh.
An etching, or maybe an engraving. Maybe that's the difference. Okay, this is plate number 18. Let me see if I can find out any information on this.
Could you put back our man while you're looking?
Yeah.
Thanks. Is that, I don't know if you want to go higher or wider. Should I zoom in a little bit? I don't know. I'm okay. Anybody needs it zoomed in?
Actually, I'd like to see the knot.
Boy, you've reached the knot already.
Well, I'm just choosing what to draw.
We don't need it. We don't need his eyes. We don't need his eyes when we have the knot.
Is he wearing like a pearl necklace over his vest? What are those pearls that go all the way down to his belly button? Or is that the trim on the edge of his vest? Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so this could be the vest. I don't know. Right. And so a question is like, is this the gem part? Is that all part of this same article of clothing? Or is this a necklace that goes on top of it? Like a whole separate.
Yeah,
vest, and then he puts this on as a separate, the vest goes on, and then you just lay that necklace down.
Yes.
It looks to me like the wide part is the piece that the centerpiece sits on. Does that am I saying that clearly?
Say it again, Stacy.
Sure. The centerpiece on his chest,
yes,
is affixed to the wide pieces that I see you've drawn.
These, yes.
That's what
I agree. The question is whether those wide pieces are actually stitched onto this vest that has the decorative shoulder pads, the sleeves,
right?
Short sleeves. And then, or is the short sleeves vest attached to these, this bottom hanging part in between the knot and the center clasp, or are they all the same thing?
It looks to me, I'm sorry, or
I think I figured it out. What
I
were you gonna say,
figured it out. So I think that the vest is made of, not made of fabric. I think it's made of like a going into battle, because you see where the edges come up, like they're hard. It's not a soft material. Do you see that?
Yeah, here.
Yeah. Exactly. So
we were thinking leather.
Oh, okay.
Leather, like fresh leather can fold, but stiffer. And then I always think of like leather clothing as being like older versions of it, where it gets like stiff, like old baseball glove. But I've seen thinner leather. So check this out, guys. What do you think about this one? Okay, so this part up here, the shoulders and the sleeves and the belly and all of this is all one shirt, okay? And then this central point right here, there's clasps, like little hooks, and then hooks one side to the other, and it clasps it closed like a buckle of a belt. But like a
Oh,
loop buckle of a belt.
Trevor.
That could be.
I'm liking it.
Or it could be attached to one side, and then it opens up, and then it just hooks on the other side. And then then it could be tied up tight for insulation or whatever. I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
A leather jerkin.
Jerky. Yeah, I bet that's what it was.
Very interesting.
Okay, this one is called Oriental Ruler Enthroned, and it's incomplete. So the one in this book is called Oriental Ruler Enthroned.
Turkish.
Right. Well, I'm just telling you what the title in the book is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's looking more and more Turkish.
Sometimes they're not as politically correct as we are now. Then I figured out I can open this up and bring this image back. So this is also the cover. So the front cover is the etching and the back cover is the drawing, which is cool. And then I also had another project planned for this book too. I call it the Da Vinci Challenge. Gosh, this book is so good. Okay, here we go. So we can watch it, and I can read to you what offered, and there's not much offered. Let's look at we haven't done this. So we've been looking at the drawing the whole time. Let's look at
Oh, yeah.
the
This is
etching.
a little more
And that
helpful.
might be closer to.
Yeah. Looks like the vest closes in the front across his body.
Do you think that center dot could be one of the clasps? I don't know.
That looks too.
So remember, this is reversed.
Strong enough.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, this is reversed.
if it's clasped, it's got to have two clasps, I think, because that's a heavy thing.
Right.
All right, I think
It
I gotta
needs to be
get this figured out.
more substantial.
Yeah.
Sorry, Adele. Here we go.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. Come on, get focused. There we go. Wow. All right, so this is what it says. An oriental ruler seated on his throne. And then the other side, the faithful tracing, omitting the shaded areas outside the contours of the figure. Pen in black ink. Is this the same piece? Okay, I think it's the same piece of paper. No, but one second. That's another Dürer. Okay. Okay, this magnificent drawing disappeared in the middle of the 19th century and only came to light again in 1972. The subject was, however, known from what now turns out to have been a very faithful copy in the Reitlinger collection, which was published in 1922 by Campbell Dodgson. On the basis of this, the subject has been much discussed in Dürer literature. The study was clearly made during the first visit to Venice in 1495, at the same time as the drawing, as a woman in a fantastic headdress, which is in Basel. We need to find that. Shortly after his return to Nuremberg, probably in 1496, the artist must have decided to make an engraving of the subject and presumably then made the tracing on the backside. In the event, he never completed the engraving, knowing only from the unique impression at the Rijksmuseum, which shows some modifications from the drawing. The curved throne is substituted for the canopy. The scarf is now looped over the wrist. Details of the drawing continue to be reflected in other works by the artist. For example, the emperor attendant bearing a sword, in the woodcut of the martyrdom of St. John the Baptist. Oh yes, okay, I can find that. Exhibited in this book, actually, in page 70, number 76. So that's interesting. Through various attempts have been made to identify the subject, such as Charlemagne, perhaps, wow, or the Turkish Sultan who conquered Constantinople, an idealized portrait of the latter, the Turkish Sultan. None is entirely convincing. For a more detailed discussion, there's an article listed above. And so we can Google that. So the Tietzes. So I was wrong. These are both drawings.
Oh,
One was the sketch, and then I guess he put it on a light table and refined it. So one is the first run, second run, and the print that is unfinished looks like it's the third run in the actual, the actual plate. It's just an interesting way of thinking about the process. And maybe that's a thing. Maybe that's a thing that Durer did, where he would, because I'm looking at some of these and they're clearly, some of them are tracings. I can't believe I just lost that. I found it in the book and then lost it. So annoying. I just found a portrait of Kristen and me. Okay, there he is. I'm going to use my Post-it notes for once. Does that count as executive functioning?
using Post-it notes.
Yeah. Here's a portrait of Kristen and me. This is our average Friday night right here.
Oh my goodness.
Hold on.
Look at its toes showing right through the soles of the shoe.
Hold on. Let me show you the details though. You see what's in her right hand? She's got the knife.
Knife.
She's got the keys. She's got the money. And he is not responsible enough in that revelry
Yeah.
to handle all that stuff. So he's having a good time, and she's
dragging him home.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, exactly.
She hasn't got him by the ear.
he thinks she's taking her home, but she's really taking him home.
But he doesn't want to come.
Yeah, and he's got to take her home because she's got the money, she's got the keys. I relate to that so much. Such an interesting idea. Do you guys have a light table?
No.
Yeah, I have one.
Yeah, you can buy like a little small one.
Yeah,
Grace, that would work. And then you can, especially if you did things that were symmetrical, you could just hit the light table and then, draw. Say you did a pencil sketch. Instead of having to go over the pencil sketch, you flip it over, put it on the light table, and then ink it. And then it could save you some time and gain some accuracy. And I assume that's what this is. I mean, they actually call it a tracing. So this is, I wonder if they can fit on I can fit on the screen all at the same time. So it is the exact same piece of paper. Can I? Should I? It almost feels like it's perforated for a reason. There it goes. I don't know what insights I'm getting out of this, but I wanted to do it just the same. Come up a little bit higher. It is nice that they printed it exactly the same way for us. Did I lose anything if I cut that off? Which? Still. The other one is so big. Let me tape that down too. So neat. Let's just look at the oh, need that there. I'm just gonna look at the handle of the sword. How you can kind of,
Yeah.
it's like you want to think about it like a musician playing the same song. You know how when like creative musicians will play the same song, but it's just like all just like a little different, just like a little teeny, it's just like the little variation. And where I was picking that up is in the little, see these little circles at the base of the, you can tell he's thinking it's not an exact, they're just so close. I can't even believe it. So the right side is the copy and the left side is the original.
Same motif on it, you know, the pearls around the square.
It is so close. I mean, it is so close to being the same. I mean, it just shows the control. I mean, I'm like really blown away. I mean, that's the thing. Maybe these were done very close to one another. Or not. Look at this. This is a little different. This being a light highlight, and then he tones down this whole area. So he layered it slightly differently. But that's what I mean. They're just like the most subtle variations. Like this is a rounded hook versus a rectilinear fold. And again, this is the copy. And then this one, I think, is the first version. Oh no, excuse me, I reversed, sorry. Yeah, and actually look at that one. So this one, he comes down left side, right side to get that point. And then in his tracing, he's able to do it in one motion. That's very interesting. So it's faster. So this is copy on the right side, original on the left side. And it's just, it does feel cleaner, but it doesn't feel like a tracing either. I think because he's not really tracing. He's drawing again, but with complete, he's just repeating the drawing concept, not tracing over a line. That's a big concept right there too. Let's see if there's anything interesting up here. A lot of times in class, when there's when you transfer one painting to another, when you transfer a drawing onto a canvas, that you do the tracing paper, you take your drawing, you trace it, and then you put pigment on the back, you take it over to the canvas, it's been primed and sanded and gessoed, and then you trace over your lines again, and because there's pigment on the back of that tracing paper, it leaves the lines on your canvas. And it's just a transfer method. And usually the transfer degrades a little bit. So when I'm teaching it, I really try to make it come to the forefront that there shouldn't be any degrading from one to the next. You want to almost like increase the quality from the original to the tracing, and then the tracing to the transfer. And there is nothing that gets degraded in this at all. If anything, it doesn't even really improve that much. I mean, I guess there's a more of an indication of shadow. So this like the line weight varies a little bit. Look at how this, if I I'll zoom out again, but this little armpit area here, it's a space between the sleeve cloak and the rib cage, that goes a degree darker. In the, it's just the values, it's the shading that changes. I'm trying to get it to focus here. The face looks leaner in the original.
On the left.
Yeah, the copy, the character that he looks like he looks healthier, and he looks stronger. He looks stronger and healthier. That's interesting. The shoulders broaden up as well. Where is that big difference? Is it with this fold? So there's kind of an important this distinction that the separation between the beard and the chest. So the underside of the beard and the beard throwing a shadow on the shoulder gives you like a very distinct line, and you get it in the cheekbone, you get it in the mouth, and then you get it, also like there's a very serious three-dimensionality, a 3D. Well, how could I do that without messing up the paper? I want to bring these faces really close to one another. I just let it fold. Maybe I just let it fold. Oh, for art's sake.
So as an aside, nice. While you're doing that, I went to just the other day for the first time since I was a child, the Kilburn Arboretum.
Yeah.
Mm.
And, it was nothing like 30, 40 years ago, what it is today. And so many of the flowers are in bloom. And I was wondering if maybe
Are the dahlias there? Are the dahlias in bloom?
No.
I don't know what that flower is. I
Too
would have
late.
to look that up.
Too late for dahlias anyway.
I don't think so.
Well, some
I don't
some
think
are
so.
still hanging on, but yeah, it's on the late side.
But I wondered if maybe before, it was too cold, maybe next week, Trevor, if you didn't have anything planned, or if you ladies have any interest, maybe we could spend a little bit of time drawing there.
I would be down for that, of course.
Or on a day that's not a Thursday, just, so we're not taking away, from your lesson, Trevor, to just go and enjoy and draw. Just throwing it out there.
I like that idea.
I do too. But Adele, don't you live in Alabama?
No, I'm in Arlington, Virginia, but
I know, I'm just
Oh,
I'd come.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
It's annoying. Why is this not in focus? I'm gonna hold that down. That should be good. All right. Stacey, that's a great idea. Let's brainstorm about it. And then, oh yeah, that's what I was gonna show you. We'll find out. Okay, let's see. This was October 30th of last year, where Vienna and I went painting.
Gosh.
And
Oh
this
my
is
goodness.
this is at Silburn.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know why you can't see my flowers.
No,
We went painting. Oh wait, we can do it like this.
that's better.
I didn't think anything would be in bloom in October.
I know, but they are. I mean, there are. And look at us. It was cold,
Yeah, clearly.
and they were peaking. So we're pretty. I mean, we're good. And actually, Vienna and I were talking about going. Just last weekend. Oh, Vienna got engaged.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah, and they got engaged at the there's a Druid Hill Park arboretum. Is it an arboretum? Right by the palm tree. Marion, his fiance, proposed to him, and they did a Philip Glass performance art piece.
Wow.
It was very powerful. It was very good.
Very cool.
I don't understand why this king is not dressed the same way on the left side and the right side.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for too. So remember, this is a mirror. It's not a facsimile. So this little tuft of hair is this tuft of hair, and then this spiral to the turban is this spiral to the turban. You know, and then this spiral here is this spiral there. So,
Right.
so rephrase your question again. How is he not dressed the same?
I mean, if you look at his arms, you know, one arm has a band of beads around it. The other one looks like a ratty piece of cloth just hanging down. And well, I guess in the finished version, the left and right side of his vest look more symmetrical, but in this drawing, it's mainly his sleeves that I'm talking about.
Okay. I just had a funny thought. This is like I made the Siamese king. Not a Siamese
I like
twin. Not a Siamese twin. It's a Siamese king.
Uh,
Very weird.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because they feel like, I mean, they do feel like they have very different personalities too. And they feel completely different ages. I mean, the guy in the left feels like he's aged 20 more years.
And the guy on the right seems like
We're talking we're talking like
disconnect me.
55 to 75, or 55 to 85, even maybe 30 years. But very just like seeing the whole thing now and mirrored. These are nearly identical.
Yeah.
The fabric on those knees. There's something here. I don't know what it is, but this is a very, very, very interesting. Adele, let's look at that knot. Why not?
Yeah.
I know it fascinates me. I like it better on the right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
overall
the contrast is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The whole contrast is, but everything is better on the right, it looks like. It really is a second version. It's so similar, but it is it's more competent. And I don't know how to just, I don't know. I'm at a loss, actually. I'm very maybe I don't maybe it's just maybe it's just so subtle. I'm trying to find this exact middle, the exact fold. So that would be like right there. I mean, it's just incredible how close it is. It reminds me of the Mad magazine.
Mm-hmm.
You'd fold it right on the edge on the last page and you get something different. But even the broken lines, look at the broken line in that gem and the broken line in that gem. It just shows you how intentional every single moment is and how controlled. I mean, it's just nothing is taken, nothing is not addressed. Look at this. This is beautiful. Look at this concave, look at this concave spider web. Do you see that? That you know, it feels like a cone. It's like a cone. It's like that gridded plane, that conical plane. And here it's a deeper, you know, it's not as flat. I mean, that's a substantial variation. And even the angle, you know, some of the lines are shooting out from down here, whereas these are shooting out from the inside. That's an inverted thing. So this is, you know, these lines are not shooting out from this crease in the same way that these lines here are shooting out from that crease. I mean, when you have to like, I mean, I'm like really nitpicking here and I can't believe it. I do think that this whole arrangement is more successful, you know, where the ball, you know, the orb is in front of, you know, this, you know, cylindrical fold, and that cylindrical fold is in front of this gutter, and then that gutter, you know, emerges out into a flat concave cone. So this is a convex cylinder, and then it transitions into a concave fold. Where on this side, you know, you lose that conical fold that goes back behind the ball, and then the, you know, the gutter feels less dimensional, but it's also darker. That's a big difference, actually. And it looks like we're getting into some other differences in the intensity of the folds that are in here. If I fold this up. I believe this is a knee. This is a knee. And then that's also the knee on the other side. Interesting. Yeah. So I think when he drew this initially, I can zoom out in a second, but I'm pretty sure this is designed based off of a calf muscle, and it's not so much here. This is, let me do that. This is a knee, and this is a bent knee, giving a calf muscle, and then the shin bone. You know, so he's actually really feeling the anatomy on this side, where here it is way blockier, and it's more of like an abstract structure. You know, there is a roundness at the top where the, you know, where the knee with the thigh would come in and then turn under, but the fabric is much more planar. Where on this side it's more anatomical. So yeah, sorry, Adele, I didn't mean to glaze over the knot, but
No, it's okay.
I'm just trying to pick out, you know, noticeable variations from, you know, one version to the other. And again, it's the exact same piece of paper. And it makes me think about it like almost like it's a, you know, you imagine you're listening to a piece of music that's already been written and perfected, and you know, you listen to one piece played all the way through, and then like later in the night or like the next day the artist plays the exact same piece again. It's gonna be almost identical. But you could just listen and re-listen and re-listen if you wanted to be obsessive about it, and find, you know, where there were like slight pauses or you know, greater emphasis on one thing or another. I guess here, the thing that really is the main difference between the left side and the right side is how he achieved the darkness, like the shadows. It's like he took the shadows and he turned them up a notch while simultaneously maintaining all of the same mark making. That's what I don't get. I mean, I guess if we were to look at let's look at the jewels. We already drew the jewels. So if there's anything that we're going to be intimate with, it would be that. Oh, sorry, buddies. Sorry, boys. I mean, just incredibly similar. Trying to find that exact moment on the fold. There it is. So yeah, here we go. We're looking at the shadows. So here we're going concave. They swell in, these shadows swelling in. We have those same marks here swelling in, but then we have the addition of vertical lines or these diagonals. So these would then run this way. So this is where they would run that way. And yet he doesn't cover, is he adding shadows to the pearls? I think so. I think he's throwing, so in this case, the light is coming from the left. So in the original, the light would be coming from the right. So he is giving the left side shadow, but there's no cast shadows on from the pearls. Whereas here, I think there is definitely a shadow side, perhaps. Oh my God. Did you hear the baby crying?
No.
You don't hear the baby crying? I'm just curious about how good the sound quality is. The loft looks over the bedroom, and our bedroom windows are open, and we're above looking down. I can see the NCR trail right here, and there was a baby crying right up through the window. From probably 50 yards away, but it was like aimed. Those sound waves were aimed right at us. All right, so in the context of, yeah. So now I'm wondering if oh no, they're not. Okay, good. So we're on the face. It's the eyebrows. So this is the, let's look at the other one. Great. So that is, got it. So the etching, the final etching, the one that is incomplete that I showed from the other Dürer book, we're gonna have to do a comparison to the face. But that's divulge this. Let's explore this one first. The I don't know the answer. I'm not sure that it matters, but the lighter version is the first drawing. Then this is the tracing. And then the print is in the tracing's orientation. So that means that he was, referencing and drawing on the plate from the original. But the whole attitude of the print is from this drawing, it's from this orientation, and it's also this mood. Let's see if I can show you what I mean. Let's try this. All right. Yes, okay, so this is a completely different piece. So he's actually redesigning this final print, which I think we knew already, but look at the spirals, and like that's what I'm saying, like that's why this feels like somebody else. I mean, if look at the headdress. Look at how different it is.
Yeah.
Just in terms of hand and concept. Where Durer would do theme and variation, meaning like the scrolls, like this is the handles. This would be a scroll, where this one would be a reverse curve. And they're both two very elegant solutions for the same thing. So it's the same thing, but it's a variation, where these are mirrored images of each other, and there's no variation. So it's perfect symmetry, not dynamic symmetry. Dynamic symmetry is slightly different, but I mean, this is not, this headdress. These are the same orientation. So this one, the first swell, second swell, third swell, arch. First swell, second swell, third swell, arch. I don't know. I mean, if you figure the intimacy that Durer had with his own drawing from the front to the back, and then you look at these, this armature, it just doesn't make any sense. So these. Let's look at how he set up his knot, or how this other person set up the knot. Uh-huh. Yeah, I think actually this is this little loop right here. Adele, I don't know if anyone else did too, but this little loop right here made me feel a little uncomfortable. I didn't know what it was. It felt like the opening of a shell or something. And this feels more like a fabric.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fabric.
And that, yeah, so it's more.
But it does look like a shell.
There is a lot of artistic liberty taken with, when just where there was zero in his own tracing. Here, I mean, there's just a tremendous amount. Let me zoom up here. How much larger the the scale of the tassels are a lot different. Not only is and it's not just because it's larger. It's just the tassels are just way bigger. And it's still incomplete. It looks like he is, none of the gemstones have been done. So everything on this, on the actual engraving. None of the gemstones are done. And the sword itself is a completely different design too. Which is a little bit of a shame, actually. So I'm convinced this is not done by Dürer at this point. And you could see that you can imagine how it would need to be outsourced.
Yeah. Why is that?
I mean, it's just Dürer was, for the most part, a one-man operation, but the engravings are a lot of work. I just can't imagine that he didn't have help, some kind of help.
Well, he did
And
have
I think
students.
I think the design is so different. I mean, look at the sleeve. Look at the transition of the sleeve. And the sword. I mean, the sword is completely different too. But maybe he did make those liberty. I mean, maybe he did make those changes himself. I mean, it could have been done years and years apart. I can't get over how exact the tracing is. I would expect a little bit. I would expect something a little different, but I guess not.
Dürer was very scientific too. He, do you remember his perspective study?
Mm-hmm.
The one where he puts the frame up with a grid on it.
Yeah.
Between himself and his subject, and then he draws it. He draws the perspective per the grid.
Yes.
Remember that engraving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where he's looking sort of straight at his model between his or her knees, and the knees are like this big.
Yeah.
To
He
the face,
squared
just
it
like
off.
me on the screen now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, he was studying those things very carefully. He was very
Yeah. No, for
meticulous.
sure. There's another interesting component here. this fabric spirals down versus here, the fabric spirals up and reveals a tassel to the cushion of the throne. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
So this one has two tassels from the seat, and then this one has really only one. So there's one tassel from the throne, and then the second one is covered up by basically the one of the ties of the knot spirals all the way down there. So there seems to be a desire for more symmetry in this picture. And he gets it both in the cushions, and he gets it in the throne itself, which is the variation. And obviously the crown. And in the notice, look at the sword. Come on. That sword is not, both the guard is not symmetrical. And then here, I guess it's cleaned up in the 3D a little bit better. Good boy, Tucker. Not the same person. I will be so bold. Definitely the same man that did the tracing, did the drawing, but that engraving, I'm just not sure. Well, I'm pretty sure. And that's the difference. I mean, I think this becomes really obvious here. If we just go like this, I'll zoom in on it, and I can't rip it out of the book, but there's I don't know why Dürer would go from one excellent solution with the crown to a lesser. This is clearly a downgrade. When you have this spiral and that, C curve or S curve, spiral versus an S curve. And then you degrade it to be like, like a logarithmic spiral on both sides. You can just tell. It's like, even in this throne, see how this is a triangle, a hard triangle, and this is an arc, and then, it's like it is a hierarchy, 1, 2, 3. This is lowest, this is higher, so it's theme and variation. I mean, it's like that crown is designed by a master, where this is a copy, where there was an implied symmetry that was not developed, was not picked up on. So it's it can't be artists don't downgrade themselves. Like you can't make a work that's less intelligent. It just doesn't, the brains don't work like that. So it is got to be, it's got to be somebody else. Yeah, it's just incredible. It's just so how this crown, I mean, we could have done the crown. I mean, I didn't even, crown is so gorgeous. And even the folds in the turban, I'm sure there's excitement in there. But yeah, poor thing. I don't feel, I mean, they tried. Neat. Well, that's kind of a big discovery.
Yeah. Absolutely.
The question is, if this isn't Dürer, who is it?
Eh,
And I guess no one really cares. Lost to history. Some activity at Adele's house.
Warplanes overhead.
Yeah. Wait, I heard some this morning too.
At least we don't have sonic booms.
yeah. Oof.
Must not have kicked off yet. Okay, can I stop the share? Can I see what you guys did? I didn't look it up, but where's it able? I really didn't know we were going to spend the whole time on this, but classic. Was it available online?
I didn't check.
All right.
So I got confused. Well, that's not the right term, but I got messed up a little bit by the two symmetrical images in terms of where the shadow and light was. So mine was not consistent in when which way the light hits.
Yeah, it's going on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just that, I mean, and like we could have followed the whole process. I mean, we could have drawn this guy first.
Yeah.
Or just drawn the crown or the robe first. And then turned our paper over, did it on tracing paper and then flipped it and then tried to do it. I mean, that had I known, when we started this, I didn't even know that it was the exact same piece of paper.
Yeah.
Which is like the fun. I mean, the fun of engaging with it is, making those kind of discoveries. What's that, Adele?
Yeah, the other thing is that I thought we were just drawing the medallion, so I used a small sketchbook because it was the warm-up. And so now I'm drawing off the edges of the paper and I didn't get the whole, I've run out of space on my page.
Could you hold that up again, please?
Oh, yeah, we haven't
I'm sorry. I ran back when I heard Trevor say, "Can we have a show?" So I thought I missed the show.
Oh my God. Hold on a second.
No, I'm just making my excuses before showing my display.
Okay, so this is cool. National Gallery of Art. So this is, let me just see if I can save this.
Oh.
Add to photos. So this is from the National Gallery of Art. So mine is from the book, and these are available online in HD. Add to photos. Okay, so right, so this is our first one. This is with the smudge. The lines are so much cleaner. I mean, so much cleaner. Oops. Yeah, so these are available online. Look at the little, look at that little pattern on his forehead. That's a curious little thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I mean, Yeah, so again, this is the first one. Look at that extra. Look at this, that line weight. That's great. Okay, so then this is, there's that opening. And then here is the second one. Yeah, look at the detail. So there is a big detail in the difference in the nose. So you actually get both pieces of
Yeah.
cartilage. You know, you have the right side of the cartilage and the left side of the cartilage in the ball of the nose. Yeah. You
And
still
it's
get
like
this.
there's a
I
little
wonder if this
wash
is a
of
catch.
ink.
Say it again.
It looks like there's little washes of ink, almost like a brush stroke of ink, like on the
Yeah.
eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. Yeah. And that is, yeah, that's what I think makes that. It made it much more difficult to read in the reproduction. So yeah, so the ones that would that's the other important thing. Like the references that I had, they were actually reproductions of the original, where this is an actual digital photograph of the original. It's just different. I mean, just like, it's amazing, the technology. And rather than having a print of a print, you know, a print of a drawing, this is a photograph of a drawing. So you have everything. I mean, that is just, to be able to get that close. I mean, God.
Yeah.
Even if you saw it in person, you wouldn't be able to get this close, because
Trevor,
you can't focus. I mean, your eye literally can't
Yeah.
focus on it. It's magnified. Look at these, how the ellipse, you know, this circle and this circle, and then it turns the corner. Really nice. What was that, Stace?
Could you hone in on the pendant for just a second?
Yeah. This is the tracing,
Oh, okay.
and then the next one, the one,
Right.
that's the,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, this one feels more like a tracing than the other one.
Ari, how did you find it on the National Gallery? What did you search under?
I searched the title, Oriental ruler seated on his throne. I Googled that. This was this is one of my analysis sketches. We were looking at the Velasquez. This was in Tuesday's class. And this was Esther's version of it. And then I put tracing paper on top of that and
Nice.
analyzed it. I don't know. It was fun. Anyway, back to what we're doing. Okay, so I think that even though they have it differently, I think this one is the tracing. And if you think, the reason I say that is because if you look at the line work in the face, he's using different densities of ink. So there's like, so by, he's searching here on this face, and there's more details in this face. And so he's really, this feels like a, more creative, more of it happening in the moment. Whereas here, this is cleaner, almost too clean. Yeah, this is the tracing.
So the National Gallery claims that the second one is an anonymous artist. And they have 3 versions of it. 2 of them are, oh yeah, the smudge one. The 2 that we have, they're attributing to Dürer, and then they have a 3rd one that's an anonymous artist.
Let me see if I can find it. Oh God, this one. Oh God. Let me save this one. After Dürer. Okay, this is the one.
So that's not one of the ones we're looking at.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
This is the anonymous artist. And he's got a double spiral. And then he didn't understand what this patch was above the forehead either.
There's the date.
Oh, that's funny. And look at he gives the ball of the nose and then the highlight on the nose as if it were a shadow and not an expression of the cartilage. So, and then he's got the hair coming out of the nostril, not under the nostril. Do you see that? You see that mustache coming out of the nostril hole? Yeah. Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, I'm sure he learned. It's so fascinating. Yeah, look at there's like a little griffin on this side. And then he didn't get the griffin face on the other side. So he's copying the lines and not knowing, and not, it's like copying the marks without knowing. And then this one reads like a tilt versus a diamond. See how that reads like a tilted gemstone, like almost like out of place.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get the pear. I mean, the part of the attractiveness and why it had that prominence was because it was the pear shape, and he missed that. Yeah, look at just the asymmetry of the beard too. Yeah, he was clearly going off of the second version, the shaded version. At least he got the hierarchy of the crown. That's good. In reverse, curve on this side, triangle on that side, small, medium, large. Let's shoot the. Yeah, nice. Okay, this is great. So, if you look at the origin, the tracing, anyway, the square on that far side is grossly exaggerated. It's basically turned directly at us, where this does read like a mistake. I was kind of commenting on that, but at least there's a suggestion of the side plane. And then in this one, it's it's not actually there. So that's why I was leaning towards this being the oh yeah, this is the original. That's right. Okay, so good. The tracing. Yeah, the tracing got cut off. But any marginal mistake in either of the drawings gets really blown out of proportion with this guy. I mean, the most obvious distinction is the nostril. Look at the hair coming out of the nostril. And that's where it just becomes comedic. Versus the underside of the nostril flare and the nose throwing a shadow onto the mustache. That's just completely, left out. It's fun. Over exaggeration of the lower eyelid. The disconnect between the left eye and the right eye. There is a disconnect between the right eye and the left eye in Dürer, but it's just, on steroids, just because he doesn't know how to draw an actual eye. He would have been able to almost correct Dürer's distortion and out of just being a little naive, further makes the distortion grotesque, pushes it into the realm of the grotesque. That being said, the sideburns are beautiful. I mean, he cleaned up Dürer's. I mean, he has the flow. I'm talking about right here. This I think is actually more successful, than Dürer's version. But there is a lack of anatomy, and there is no the shadow underneath the mustache suggests the mouth. So there's no lips there, but you can see that the cut of the hair, the cut of the mustache, is the same cut as the shape of the mouth. So you get the Cupid's bow, and then you get a teardrop, then it flows to the teardrop corner of the mouth, flows to the teardrop corner of the mouth. The design of the mustache and the relationship of the mustache to the beard below gives you the mouth. And that is completely left out in the copy. Yeah, and then the cheekbone, there's a cheekbone here, and then there's the gutter, which is this, this gutter that goes from the nose down in between, the upper lip and the cheekbone. It's a really beautiful, passage. And here he doesn't know that. So the cheekbone just runs all the way down and intersects with that mustache. And there's no distinction between, the cheekbone and, that gutter, that labial flail. I think, Stacey, remember you named that? Nasolabial fold.
Nasolabial fold. Oh, nasolabial fold. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's those things. I mean, and they're subtle, not that subtle when it comes to us, but these are the things that, even someone that's as trained and as capable as the person that made this. I mean, it's probably fooled a bunch of people and probably learned a lot from doing it. But it feels like a child compared to Dürer. Nice. Yeah, you could dig in, you dig into this one all day. I mean, we do make kind of consistently interesting artistic discoveries each week.
Yes, we do.
Never quite know where it's gonna go.
That's fun.
All right, I'm gonna stop the share. Stace, who wants to go first? Grace, actually, you're already pinned, so I'm just gonna leave you up.
Yeah, okay. So I think his
Oh, it looks great.
proportion. I think his hat is so heavy it pushed his face down into his
Wow.
something really out of proportion there.
Well,
Can you
he's a
hold
beast.
that?
The guy's a beast.
Yeah, hold that back toward you just a tiny bit, Grace. And I don't have you on screen for some reason. Hold on. Oh, okay. A little further back toward you.
Man,
Just yeah.
That is cool.
Nice. So
That is
beautiful.
really cool.
Beautiful.
He looks like, I mean, he just looks like a, you don't want to mess with that guy.
No.
Add pen, replacement. Okay, Adele, how'd you do?
Ran out of paper.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, wow. Look at that knot. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that knot and that sword. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Hold
that's
that-
just a beautiful piece of paper. I mean, that's alchemy. When you have this paper that costs 3 cents and pencil that costs 1/30th of a cent, and
Can you back away?
arrange it
Yes,
so
yes.
beautifully.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Nice
both of them so
touches.
stunning. Stunning. Stacy, did you get to draw anything today?
Well, I only
you,
started
Bill.
on the pendant. So I don't know why I can't get myself on the screen, but
You're on our screen.
Yeah, you
oh,
are.
okay. So, like I said, I just started on the pendant.
Yeah.
And I know that I didn't really follow it because
Right.
Yeah,
I-
but yours is prettier. I mean, you're making you're making your own jewelry.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
paper, the screen was moving too much for my eyes. So I was like,
Sorry.
that's okay. No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. It's my eye. Trevor, can I see yours again?
Yeah, I barely drew. I was just thinking out loud.
Yeah, I'm excited to sort of redraw it if I have the discipline to do that and try to do the face and everything.
Yeah, if everybody could, it really does help. I mean, the pieces from last week, I got to see them so much better
Oh,
Um,
wow.
when you emailed them to me. So if you don't, or text messages them, yeah. If you could text your drawings again this week, that would be so nice. Yeah, I mean, mine is like ridiculous.
But his name across his eyes almost looks like it's part of his face.
I know.
Yeah.
It does. I don't know how or why, but it's.
He looks
And then
like
the U looks like a little smiley face.
Yeah, he looks
Yes.
like a tiny old king. He has a nice smile.
Can you
I mean,
move
that
that down just
that
a little
was
bit,
fun.
Trevor?
Yeah.
Yep, good.
Oh,
Thank
sorry.
you.
Yeah. Oh, there he's got his eyes in there. That's better.
Great.
Mm,
Yeah, I love that.
okay. Yeah. Not.
These were great.
Yeah. And you guys did wonderful. All right. I got to take this call. Hold on. Oh, this is Trevor Mitchell School.
Hi, Trevor. My name is Meg. I'm calling from Sawyer. How are you today?
I'm good. Can you hold on 1 second?
Of course.
Thanks.
Trevor,
Alright,
thank
guys.
you so
I don't know who
much.
Sawyer is. All right, I will,
We'll leave you to figure it out.
I'll go figure that out. All right, have a
Bye.
great week, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was
Thank
fun.
you. Bye,
Thank you.
ladies.
Bye.
Bye.